Hi guys, Kez here, CD Kez from Harbour in my shed, and just thought I'd do. In my previous videos, there was a reoccurring thing about Woolworths, the bargain bin at Woolworths more, and I thought to myself, actually, over the time, I did actually buy quite a few singles from from the bargain bin. And so I sit down, had a good old think, and I thought, God, yeah, yes, I did buy that one from there. And yeah, so, and, to get me single, pick a mix, fuck off home. The first one I remember, and I've mentioned it in another video. I mean, these aren't in chronological order, these are just ones I remember. Was Up Against the Wall by Tom Robinson Band, and I think I spoke about it um, in one of my previous videos about Tom Robinson Band's You'll Be a Cocktail Learn. I remember getting that one, yeah. And I got that in Birmingham. When I used to live, a place called Great Barn in Birmingham, I was there, Woolworths. That would probably be about 78, 79, 78, whatever. And the actual song, I can't remember. I'm such a resource, ain't I? Also, I do remember buying the Rezillos single, Top of the Pops. And I just remember actually seeing it on Top of the Pops because I'd never heard of the Rezillos before. And then went to Woolies early one Saturday morning, and it was on the Sire label. Remember the old Sire label? It mine didn't have a picture sleeve. It just had the Sire picture, not picture sleeve, the normal sleeve, the orange and red and all that. And I remember that. And also, I don't know if you guys remember a band called The Flies, FLYS. Um, they were from Coventry, I think. It's not very far from where I live. And I'd heard him, I read about him in the paper. This would be about 79, 80. I remember reading up in, Sounds or Melody Maker, whichever one it was. And they, I found the actual single in the bargain bin, and it was called Waikiki Beach Refugees. And I thought, oh, there's that band, The Flies. I thought, well, bargain bin, I'll get that. Just to see if it's a load of crap, chuck it out. So anyway, I paid for it, got home, and it was yellow vinyl, as I think 90% of the vinyl released over that punk period. Where it's hard to get a black version, if you know what I mean. And that started my love affair with that particular band, and I followed them for a while. I remember them getting signed to EMI, and they did an album called Waikiki Beach Refugees. But that was it. I mean, I've never really heard them much after that. It was just sad, They did John Peel, I did a John Peel session because I've got the anthology box set somewhere. It's got three or four, I think three CDs in it. So that was a band that I discovered. I hadn't even heard before, but it was in the bargain bin. Woolies, get in there, kid. Got home. Now, the next one I remember buying, now I'm thinking, oh, no, this one, was the Clash White Man in Hammersmith Palais. It's a bit of a strange, it wasn't strange, but you're thinking, my God, that song must have sold, so much. But then it was in the bargain bin. And I thought, that song is absolutely out of this world. Bought it. I probably bought something else at the same time, but I just remember buying. I remember getting it home, and I'd only ever heard the song a couple of times on the radio. Oh, it's such an absolutely wonderful piece of music that I only fully got to appreciate as I got older. Because at the time, it was all everything was sort of either political or silly. So you had people like the Clash and all that doing the sort of political side of things, and I thought at the time I thought, I don't know you a crap, just play some music, why don't you? Um, so yeah, but obviously it wasn't until I got older that I realised what the song was all about. Um, and it's just I was thinking about it. What a find, And it had that cover with the target on it. I didn't have the actual picture sleeve, but I had the original. Was it CBS when they did that record? But it had the target with it. Yeah, absolutely wonderful. Another one, I think I mentioned it before, was What Do I Get by Buzzcocks. That I remember buying. That was in Birmingham. Great. Anyway, the one that really sort of cemented my love for the Buzzcocks was Love You More. And it was the fact that um, the 1 minute 30 odd seconds long for the start off. It was, I think at the time, it was the shortest top 20, 30, whatever it was, single. And Jesus Christ, the lyrics of that song are amazing. And what made it even better was the subject and just Shelley's voice. Shelley's voice, it just sounds like he was living it. Uh, that song really kicked me up the backside. Uh, Absolutely wonderful. Now, the next one was really quite interesting because I'd never heard of him. Bear in mind that there's that much going on at that particular time with all sorts of bands jumping on the bleeding bandwagon and jumping off it and doing this, that, and the other. But it was the Saints. Now, the the Saints have been going for quite a long time. 1974 was when they first started. But not the Ramones, really. It's quite amazing when you think about it. That you had, I mean, I don't know if they'd ever heard of each other, but I mean, the Ramones were going for quite some considerable time before 76, maybe a couple of years, a year, I don't know. You guys tell me. Um, but they had a similar sound. Just amazed me. I thought, wow, talk about one end of the planet to the other. I mean, how the hell did they? I don't know. But it was just wonderful. And the single I'm talking about is, and I've got it somewhere, but I can't find it. But I don't even want to try finding it. It's too hot. But it was I'm Stranded. And why I bought it was because of the cover. Do you remember the cover it was the version that was done on the Power Exchange label? And it was just, I think, if I'm correct, I think it was from the cover from the album, but it was in black and white as opposed to the yellow one of the album. And I played that. I thought, really, no one of these boys ain't fucking about, are they? And then I flipped it over, and that was the one that did me. It's a track called No Time, which I thought was just the whole sound of it. It sounded like they had about 900 guitars, with the bass player and a drummer and all these hundreds of people behind them. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. The next one I remember buying was The Stranglers, Who Wants the World. Now with this one, I'd heard it because it was a hit at that point in time, and I just it's just a fantastic song. I don't want to get on the Stranglers because the Stranglers to me, I like the Buzzcocks. I just absolutely, I was there from the first time I ever heard the Stranglers. Might have been till this very day. But yeah, I remember buying Who Wants the World. The next one I remember buying, I also bought the sheet music. Was the Rolling Stones, Respectable, which I don't know what year, mate. I really don't know what year it was that this was in the charts, but I liked it. I mean, it's simple, uh, you know, Rolling Stones fare. There's nothing flashy about it. Um, but there was a music shop up in the town where I still live, and I went in there the one day, and they got the sheet music to Respectable. Now, if anybody who knows that song, there's only three fucking chords in it, but I bought the sheet music. So, and I've kept them. I kept the single inside the sheet music because that's the sort of guy I am. The next, and another earth-shattering moment for me was Motorhead, No Class. Now, when I was at school, which obviously quite a few years ago, as you can plainly see, we used to have it was a third form, fourth form, fifth form, and I got to the fifth form, and we each had our own what they call the fifth year area. So it was like a big. We all just sit round at break time and just and in the corner of it, there's one of them old great big radiograms, whatever you call them, with a turntable in it. And people used to take turns bringing in their crappy albums and put it on the fucking Bee Gees or whatever it was and stuff at the time. I'm talking about 79. You get the odd cool person to bring in. I remember one guy bringing a Hawkwind album, which stuck with me. Uh, and I can remember this guy, and he was so basically he was the last sort of person you'd ever think of bringing no class by Motorhead, and I could see him all fucking smug walking to the thought, what's he going to put on? And it was a single, and put it on, and it was no class. Now, at that particular point in time, to me, that was the heaviest thing I'd ever heard in my life. Absolutely. And then after it finished, I went, where'd you get that from? They go, it's your brother's. I was, not anymore, it ain't. I said, tell your brother that I'll swap it with him. As everyone swapped everything back then, didn't they? And he said, well, I've got to just tell him, because I knew he was in the year above. He's in the sixth form. Two, three, four. Yeah, sixth form. So he did. And he goes, what you got to swap? And I went, God, I never liked Walkman. And I've got this Masters of the Universe t-shirt. Do you remember I think it was the best of, uh, sort of best of Space Ritual album. I don't know, but it was called Masters of the Universe album. And yeah, this big warrior, whatever it's called, this big warrior guy with a stick on it. And I had that T-shirt, and he went, "I'll have that T-shirt." I goes, "Okay, have it, and you'll keep it, and you'll always have it." So made the change, and that kicked off my absolute mad love affair with Motorhead. Um, the last one I remember, uh, there's loads, but when you get to my age, you're looking for myself to the bleeding toilet, like, was Saxon. And this was around the time of the new wave of British heavy metal, which wasn't a thing. It was just a load of metal bands all playing, and somebody decided to put a tag on it, which still exists to this day. I think it was Sounds magazine, when it Sounds that you used that, and they sort of ran with that for quite a while. I think that's where Kerrang came from, all that metal stuff. Fantastic, love all that. And I heard it on the radio. Don't know where, don't know when, but I thought that's pretty good. That is it's quite different. I haven't heard that sort of style of rock before. So put it to Brom, did the usual thing, bought a single, got it back home, and it was in a normal white single sleeve. There's no cover, no cover. What I do remember is the vinyl was really thick, thicker than most normal 7-inch records. I thought, Benny, this is bit of a weight. So I got my cousin to give me a hand upstairs with it. So anyway, I climbed the stairs with it, and I got it, and I was running up the stairs. I should be able to run then. Oh yes, running up the stairs with it, and I slipped, and I went to grab the banister with a single in my hand. So grab banister, single, flew in the air, smashed, broke. So I never heard it, but he made a good story to tell at dinner parties. Well, whatever. Anyway, catch you, and I'll see you later.